True believers, it's your pal Spider-Man. Good morning, Cadre. Happy Saturday to you. It is the day after Black Friday. So I hope you all went out and got some good deals on some Black Friday sales for all your shaving needs. Lots of good retailers out there having quite awesome sales. I did partake in a few of them to stock up for the year on some things that I needed. I went to an Italian barber. I got some more Motherfucker aftershave and some more feather blades, and then got some really cheap shaving soaps just to give away as piffs or to give to new wet shavers to try out. Also got some of the things from Maggards, notably the Fougere Angelique and Fougere Gothique aftershave and soap sets, because I have both of those and they're amazing. And since they were on sale, I needed to grab an extra because I love those scents. Anyways, today we're going to be using CBL's Dragons Blood, one of my absolute favorite scents. I'm getting down. Oh, look at the love. I didn't even realize there's a little heart shape in the donut there. But I love this scent. And as you can see, I'm getting down in my tub, but don't worry. I've got others. I got backups. I got lots of this Dragon's Blood because I love it. This was a condensed tub, so this was probably 2 tubs worth of soap, and I'm finally getting down towards the end of it. This is what we'll be using for today. Also, wanted to try out a new product for me, which is this collapsible travel dog water dish. As you can see, this is meant for dogs. It's got a little, I think that's maybe a Chihuahua or some little type of dog imprinted in it. So this is a dog bowl. I know Sterling has some of these for sale on their website that have these nubs in the bottom of them that's supposed to help you with lathering. Personally, I think those nubs are a little aggressive, and I think after repeated use, especially on a natural hair brush like a badger or a boar, it seems to me like it's going to damage your bristles. I know I've got one brush that is it was one of my first brushes that I got, and it's a badger brush, and over time that thing has definitely gotten beat up. And that's what I foresee happening to somebody if they use that type of brush or that type of bowl with those nubs. They're very aggressive, at least in the picture. I'm really anxious to see some reviews for people that have actually used it. I know a couple people ordered one during the Black Friday sales, and I'm sure they'll be using them on camera, looking at you, Dave, in Kentucky. So really curious what you think about that. But personally, I was not a fan. I'm sure they'll work great, and I'm sure it's just me overthinking it. But me personally, I did not want a bowl that had those nubs in it. So I went out and I bought this off of Amazon. It's just a dog bowl. I actually got a 3-pack, a blue, a green, and an orange for under $6, which I know the ones at Sterling are selling for $6 a piece. So I think I got a pretty good deal on this, and we are just going to see how it works. It's meant to just clip on a backpack, take with you when you're walking out with your dog or traveling or whatever. And wherever you can get some water, you can just pop this out and give them a little drink of water. But I suppose this could be used for humans too. This could be a little travel cup. I know they make specific travel cups just like this for like camping and whatnot that do collapse, so they're easy to store. You could easily use this as a cereal bowl or a soup bowl or just a drinking cup. I'm sure if it's suitable for dogs, it's suitable for humans too, whatever. So we are going to do that, and if you watch my channel, I'm mostly a face lather, but when I do bowl lather, typically I'm just using the salsa bowl. So I just wanted to compare the size with my salsa bowl. It's just probably, I would say not even a hair bigger. It's almost the exact same size. Well, I guess since this fits inside it, it is a little bit bigger, but it looked wider, but I think it's just because of this rim. This one goes mostly inside. So they're very comparable in size is what I was getting at to what I normally use for a bowl. So that's what I use if I'm doing samples. I'll just smear the sample inside there and then lather it up. So we're gonna try to use this today and see how it works. I've got my Paladin Moe 26 millimeter skull and crossbones brush. It's been soaking, so it's got plenty of water in it, and we are going to go to the load. So any of this excess lather that starts this proto lather, I'm just gonna get that down into the bowl so I can keep loading. Get the good stuff out of here. So I probably loaded more than I needed to, but it's how I roll. So we are going to go ahead and see how this works. Now, this is made of silicone, and it's not rough, but it's not smooth either. It just has that kind of silicone-y texture, which I think is all you need to whip up a lather. And as you can see, I've got tons and tons of lather. So to me, those nubs are completely unnecessary. I mean, really, the brush is doing the job that it needs to do. So look at all that crazy nuts lather. Now I typically would have been face lathering, and I typically would have been adding some water as I go. So I don't like bowl lathering necessarily, because I can't tell how this lather is going to feel on my face just from lathering it in the bowl. So I may put this on my face and may need to add a little water, but we'll see how this goes. It looks like it's getting wet enough, moist enough. And again, look at just all that crazy lather. This bowl is working perfectly. So this is going to be, again, you know, I'm a face latherer primarily, so I really don't know how much I would actually use this, but I really wanted to test out the theory, and it was so cheap. I've got a couple extras. I can probably piff those away or whatever, because I have no use for 3 of them. But it is something definitely that I would put in a DOP kit, in a travel bag, in case I did want a bowl leather. Normally when I'm traveling, I'm just going to face leather anyways, but heck, this will throw in a DOP kit real easy. Feels like I got enough moisture, so I don't think I need to add any more. Feels like maybe I've added actually a little bit too much, but that's all right. The lather's still stable. Just feels a little thin on my face, which is another reason why I don't like bowl lathering, because I like to face lather. I like to feel the lather on my face and add water as I think I need to, depending on how it feels, not how the lather looks. I think that's your best judge of shaveability in a lather, is how it feels on your face rather than how it looks. You can get a lather that looks amazing, but when you get it on your face, it's dry and a little bit draggy, and sometimes you want it to be a little bit more watery so you can get a little bit more glide and slickness out of the soap. So I didn't mention, but I'll be using my Yuma razor today. I have not been keeping track of the amount of shaves on this thing, but I've got to have 2 months of shaves on this one blade, and it just keeps going. So I know I will be starting up the One Blade February challenge, and I think I'm going to put a little twist on it this year. But we'll get that going at the beginning of January, so it gives people time to think about it, time to sign up for it. But I can tell you right now, this is the blade and razor combination I will be using, my human razor with a Persona blade. Because even after 2 months, this thing is giving me such smooth, comfortable shaves. It's ridiculous. So, usually, when I go to the brush for my second pass and second lather, I usually need to add a little bit of water. Sometimes I'll wet my face first before I put the lather on, but since I felt this was a little bit on the wet side, I think because the lather is going to dry out a little bit. And that's why I usually have to add a little bit of water on the second pass, because as this sits on the counter during the first pass, it may not look like it, but it does evaporate a little bit of water and it gets a little bit drier. And I'll notice that when I put the brush on my face. I can tell it's a little bit thicker than it was before, so this is probably the type of lather that I'm looking for exactly. So I'm going to, oh yeah, look at how much thicker that is than my first pass. So this is probably the perfect consistency. The scent on this is so good. Dragon's Blood, it's really hard to describe. It's very it's sweet smelling. It's also a little bit dark smelling. It's sort of got an incense kind of vibe. It's in that wheelhouse, but it doesn't smell like incense. I mean, it does technically, because there are Dragon's Blood incenses out there, so by default it's going to smell like a Dragon's Blood incense, but not like incense if you just think of a generic incense kind of scent. The slickness on this soap is ridiculous. And as I say over and over again, slickness is key, at least for me. It's the number one thing I look for in a soap is slickness. And I've gotten rid of some really high-end soaps because they just weren't slick enough for me. I'm looking at USV. I know everybody else loves them, but for me, they just weren't slick enough. And I got through some samples thanks to Barber Dave. Appreciate the samples, but in the end, they just weren't for me. Did not really like. The shaves were fine, but it just wasn't slick enough. So the slickness on the CBL, it sucks that I can just keep coming back and doing some touch-up without really needing to reapply the lather directly. Eventually it's going to dry out, again, through evaporation and whatnot. So still, look at the bowl, look at the brush, tons and tons of lather. So the only thing that, this comes with this little clip. I think I'm going to pull that clip off because it's kind of annoying hearing that rattle around as I'm lathering. And it's going to go in a dot kit, so it doesn't really need to be clipped onto anything for this application. So we did have our turkey dinner yesterday, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. Kids came over the other night, so we did not have our traditional Thanksgiving turkey on Thanksgiving. We had it the next day. So they got 2 Thanksgivings. We had turkey and stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, green beans, cranberry sauce, which I make the best cranberry sauce. Hands down, the best cranberry sauce ever. I make it with wine and orange juice instead of water. And put a couple other things in it, and it's just amazing. Red wine and cranberries go so good together. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I was off work yesterday, obviously. So that's why you got kind of a bonus video yesterday. You're getting a 2 for this weekend. I think I got everything. I don't even feel like I need any touch-up on this one. I'm kind of just going over the touch-up areas, but it really doesn't feel like I'm even getting anything. Oh. Feels pretty good. Nice and smooth. Alrighty, let's clean up with a little bit before we finish off. Tons and tons of lather in this bowl. Again, if you are thinking about getting a bowl, like, nothing against Sterling. I love them. I love their products. I've got a bunch of their products. And if you want to get their bowl, fine, go get their bowl. If you're looking to be a little bit more budget conscious, maybe look at one of these. They're a little bit cheaper, and I think they'll work just as well. Alright. Give my brush a little shake. Just, wipe off the handle, get any soap residue off before I put it up here. Rinse off my face just real quick. Most of it is off. This is a pretty clean rinsing soap. And get ready for some witch hazel. I have a little teeny bit of Humphreys witch hazel that was given to me by Dave. He didn't give me this much. He gave me about half of this. Well, I diluted it because I wanted to make it last a little bit longer. So I used some Humphreys regular witch hazel, mixed it 50-50 with the Alcalajado, Maravilla, the stuff that has a little bit of bay rum in it, but a little bit of a little bit better medicinal qualities to it. So, because right now it is nigh impossible to find. The company said they stopped making it, so whatever's on the shelves is probably all that there is, and I know Dave has a couple bottles of it. I'm still trying to track some down for myself. I've got a couple feelers out, so hopefully I can get some stock of that. Been trying to get some for a long time and always ended up getting shipped the wrong thing when I ordered off of eBay or Amazon. So even the suppliers didn't know what they had. So I was mixing up something, and no, it's not what you're thinking, but I was mixing up something for my reindeer buddy and pulled out the Superior 70 Bay rum and thought, I have not used Superior 70 Bay rum by itself in a very, very long time. So I decided to use that. This stuff is just light, crisp, pure bay rum. Nothing spicy. Nothing in it. Just pure bay rum. And it smells amazing. So the other day, I meant to comment on this yesterday. Dave in Kentucky did kind of imitate my little application where I put it on my arms and said, who is this? Who do I look like? Well, thank you, Dave. They say that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so thank you. Thank you very much. And that'll wrap up my shave for the day. We'll see you guys on the Shaving Cadre. I'm KJ, also known as Spider on the forums, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.